If you want to get your company noticed by Gartner, you need to start where most companies finish, and that is with a clear vision of what you actually want to get published. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to work backwards from that end vision and to craft a strategy that will increase your chances of getting featured by Gartner. Let's get started. Today we're going to look at three main points. Number one, to clearly and definitively articulate what you want analysts to publish about your SME vendor in a specific research. Two, to craft a narrative based on analysts' preferences. And three, plan strategic actions to influence analysts. The first critical step is defining and articulating exactly what you want Gartner analysts to publish about your organization. Now, this is not a generalization of concepts or features or strengths that you want Gartner to publish. This is specifically word per word, verbatim, what would you have Gartner analysts publish about your organization in an ideal world scenario. So sit down and write that down. Defining this at the start will help you do everything else along the line. Now, there are constraints to what Gartner is willing to publish. So your ideal scenario has to be realistic and it has to conform to these constraints. So some of the constraints here is the evaluation criteria. So each research on vendors has evaluation criteria to be included or excluded from the research. So what we articulate needs to contemplate this evaluation criteria. Also, there are simple things such as the number of words that analysts will use, and here we could review previous publications to see how many words are generally used to talk about a specific vendor. In a Magic Quadrant, this is generally around 300 to 400 words. And then to use the same style, the same method of articulation that the analysts also use. In a Magic Quadrant, this is generally an overview of our organization, some recent milestones if there are any, and then it's broken into two groups. First of all, strengths, which is broken down again into 4 subpoints, and then cautions, which is also broken down into 4 subpoints. Now, working backwards, what we need to do is we need to craft a narrative that will validate everything that we have mentioned or everything that we have articulated in that ideal world scenario of a publication. This narrative needs to contemplate analyst expectations and analyst preferences. So what we need to contemplate here is the incorporation of concepts and the incorporation of language that the analysts are using, such as zero trust, such as cyber physical systems, a new concept, a new category, or a new subcategory they're trying to push to get market acceptance. If we can incorporate that in our narrative, that is going to position us better when we engage with Gartner. Finally, once your message is crafted and your narrative is ready, it's time to engage with analysts. So defining when and how you will engage with analysts is critical. So here we will start at the end, let's say, of our journey, and this will just be prior to a publication, and we will work our way back. So we will be more definitive towards the end, where we'll focus on vendor briefings, when we have our narrative crystal clear, when we have our evaluation criteria crystal clear, we will know the analyst preferences, we will know their language and their concepts. So we'll leave that closer to the publication, and then moving backwards all the way back, we will be looking at starting inquiries and document reviews, where we will be doing this exploratory work of trying to identify what language they're using, what criteria they are using for the evaluation. Will that change? Will it not change in the next publication, etc.? So there you have it. The key to influencing Gartner is to start at the end. Clearly articulate what you would have Gartner publish about your organization in an ideal world scenario. Then craft your narrative to take into consideration Gartner's expectations, and then strategically execute your actions with Gartner analysts. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel for more insights into how to make dealings with Gartner easier.